Okay, loan modifications. Well, how many people have received hundreds of emails from all over the world on loan modifications? Yes, loan modifications, do it yourself, $9.95, loan modifications, $4,000 up front. Everybody in the world now does loan modifications, and everyone's a loan modification expert. Well, I'm here to tell you how it's supposed to be done in the state of California, legally and legitimately. What is a loan modification? A loan modification is an amendment to the terms of a promissory note of a residential mortgage loan that result in the reduction of the interest rate and corresponding monthly payments. Changes can be extension of the term of the loan, conversion from an ARM loan to a fixed loan, lowering of margins on ARMs, deferment of payment or other more favorable terms, capitalization of arrearages, and possible reduction of principal balance owed. Now, at this point, I'd like to make a comment. Loan modifications is a brand new concept. Really, just in the last year, right at the end of '07 and through '08, this whole concept has been evolving and developing. And the same with short sales at the same time. These were things that never existed before. So we're in a brand new world. So the lenders were completely unprepared to deal with any of this. And that's why all of it takes so long. But due to the nature of the situation, they're getting their internal policies and procedures together. They're getting people who are trained to understand and work with these things. So things are getting better. Now, loan modifications are for, we're talking about residential properties. They can be owner-occupied, but I think also they can be investment properties. So if you have a property and you need to get your loan modified, it can be an owner or a non-owner. But I would imagine that you would have much more chance of success on an owner-occupied property rather than investment property. They would probably just say, the heck with it, and just foreclose on an investment property. So primary effort on loan modifications is being done on owner-occupied principal residences. Okay? Now, the interesting thing of loan modifications is, and the same thing with short sales, is when you put the detailed package together, you're telling the story of why you can't afford your current loan. So it's the mirror image of when you got the loan. When you got the loan, you had to provide all kinds of documentation why you deserve the loan. Your income and your debts, and you have good qualifying ratios, and you have great credit history, and you have a good job, and all those things, why you should get the loan. Short sales and loan modification is the dark side. It's the flip side, the mirror side. You have to prove why I can't make the payment. My income is down. My debts are up. I had these issues that occurred that are causing me not to be able to make the payments. I got this adjustable rate loan that I didn't know what I got, and it adjusted, and I can't make my payments. So you have to tell that story. Now, in California, who can perform loan modification services for a fee? The California Department of Real Estate has ruled that loan mod, is the terminology, services constitute licensed activity under the Business and Professions Code Section 10131D, requiring a real estate broker's license or a real estate salesperson who works under a real estate broker's license. Attorneys are exempt from this regulation, so attorneys can perform loan modification services for a consumer. The California Department of Corporations, DOC, has ruled that its licensees are not allowed to perform these services. And residential mortgage lenders and consumer finance lenders, RML and CFL, are licensed under the DOC. So those are lenders, mortgage bankers, and mortgage brokers who have those licenses cannot perform loan modification services for a fee. Very important. So if you see somebody advertising that they do loan modification services and they are not a licensee of the California Department of Real Estate, I would strongly suggest that you do not pay them any money.
You said a broker?
Yeah, real estate broker or a real estate salesperson who works under a broker. They have to be able to prove that they have a Department of Real Estate license, which is easily enough done. You can ask them for their license number, And you can go to the Department of Real Estate website, which is a very good website, and check it out. Website address is www.dre.ca.gov. And you can check out a licensee by their license number or by their name. So, now, we've also seen many advertisements where there's an advance fee. You give us $2,000, you give us $3,000 up front, and we will provide loan modification services for you. Well, that's also illegal. An advance fee is a fee charged to a principal by an agent in advance of services provided in connection with the negotiation of a real estate loan on residential property, being paid up front. A licensee by the Department of Real Estate has a very strict requirement to the DRE under the California Business and Professions Code 10085.5A. Prohibits the collection of an advance fee by licensees unless the broker must have an advance fee agreement approved by the DRE, which is extremely difficult to get, and only about 29 are approved in the entire state right now. So in the entire state of California, 35 million people, and of the hundreds of thousands of people who are brokers, real estate licensees, there are only 29 people in the state, or companies in the state, that have an advance fee agreement that's approved by the DRE. And if the broker has an approved advance fee agreement, then any advance funds that are paid to them must be placed in that broker's trust account and not subject to their general funds distribution until the services are completed. Very important. So in order to do an advance fee, you also have to have a trust account, which most brokers have chosen not to have for various reasons. Loan modification procedures. Loan modification application procedure is the process of providing documentation to your current lender proving why the homeowner can no longer afford the home loan, as I mentioned earlier. Full documentation of all income, debts, and household expenses, and a letter of explanation are required. Very frequently, lenders require it on their own special forms, although there are generic forms that exist as well. The application is submitted to the lender's loan mitigation department, and the negotiation begins.
Is that required by DRE or just the lender?
What? Oh, this is required by the lenders.
Not DRE.
No. DRE doesn't care how you do it, just as long as you have a license. So what terms can be had? If a lender approves a loan modification application, the terms that are offered by the lender are individually negotiated for each applicant. There are no standard terms right now. Such terms may be, again, lowering of interest rate, conversion of ARMs to fixed, lowering of ARM margins, extending terms of the loan to 40 years or longer, or some versions of all that. I've seen it very popular to give a borrower a interest-only loan fixed for 5 years or 7 years at a very low rate, maybe 3 or 4%, or give people an interest rate of 3 or 4% that's fixed for 30 or 40 years, or some version of that. But the thing that they really don't like to do, predictably enough, is to get a reduction of principal balance. Having said that, I've heard anecdotally that that has occurred, or does occur, and kind of depending upon the lender. But obviously that's a last resort for them. They don't want to lose the money. They would rather keep you in the property and take much less per month, or even just break even every month, rather than lose it or have to write down principal balance. Recent statistics just came out indicate that early loan modifications done at the end of 2007 and early 2008 have still resulted in a 40% failure rate in foreclosures. Not very good. Not very good at all. And you've probably seen that in the news. So that's not a good sign.